Sure, no problem. Okay, so I have researched into genealogy. First of all, hi, I respect you so much. Thank you for having me on. I've researched into genealogy and I have like 14 different nationalities.
Mm.
And I feel like I have multiple different stories and traumas and like everything. And I'm assuming some contradictory traumas and like groups of people who have been historically at odds with each other.
Yep.
Right. So me and my
I hope
brother,
you see the beauty. I'm going to stop you right now. I hope you see the beauty in that because this is very common. This is very, very common. If you're looking at this from the top down, from, let's call it source perspective. If you're interested in getting the full picture and interested in healing, wouldn't it benefit you to come in as the slave master and the slave, for example?
yeah. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. But I just wanted to know what your thoughts are for how to go about ancestral healing for someone with such mixed ancestry.
What you're going to do is you're going to focus on it in terms of chapters. So, I mean, right now, when you've got this much of a sort of multi-dimensional picture of your ancestry, and it's instead of having like very strong themes, you've got like multiple themes. You just want to deal with whatever it feels like is the most up right now. So, like, let's say that I had an issue with emotional abandonment, and I'm noticing that in my relationships, and I'm noticing in my parents, and I start to trace that back, and I start to see that line runs through, let's say, a line that came from England. Because that's so up right now, I'm going to treat that like a layer of the healing onion that is ready and wanting to be healed. And so I'm going to be focusing more on that particular aspect of my family.
Mhm.
When I feel like I've broken through that and the next pattern comes up, that might trace down a whole different line.
Mhm.
So does that make sense? Kind of, you're going to address it in chapters according to what's appearing now.
Yeah, definitely. That makes sense. I think I've just been hesitant because I just feel like it's going to be so much, but that's life, I guess.
Well, the good news is that wait, talk to me about that, because I actually think I noticed this trend with people feeling like this is overwhelming.
Mhm.
So when you think that thought, like this is so overwhelming and I don't know how to just, this is, what is it that's fueling that thought? Like, what do you imagine you're going to experience that is making it so overwhelming?
Well, to me, honestly, like my parents, like literally my parents' relationship and my relationship with my parents was overwhelming enough. So to think that there's like 4,000 of them, like I'm just like I couldn't possibly, and like I guess it's what I chose, so I'm capable of it, but yeah.
Okay, so this is a projection.
Mm,
And this is quite common. And it's one of the main reasons why people don't go towards their ancestry is because of a painful relationship they have with just the people they had interaction with.
mm,
Um, what you will find is that there's no such thing as a family tree full of only bad apples.
mm,
Now, I am also going to tell you that bad apples should be questioned. But right now you're going at this with this sort of attitude of all you're going to run into is painful stuff, and all you're going to run into is painful people, and what
mm,
you're not seeing yet is that so many of your ancestors were incredible, absolutely incredible. Not only that, there may be a sense of belonging you had with like a third great grandfather or something that
mm,
that was so unfathomable to you because of the relationship you had with your immediate parents.
mm. Yeah,
So
I see that. Yeah.
it's not just going to be like you think it is, where it's just pain and it's just pain and it's just pain. There are going to be things you find out at every juncture of this process, which is like, oh, that's super painful to look at. Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
It's not just a one-dimensional painful experience.
Yeah. I think what I struggle with is holding like the greatness and the badness because that's the same for my parents. Like
Yeah.
there's the both thing going on. So like I want to see things as one thing or another. And it's that even that in itself is overwhelming for me, if that makes sense.
Why do you think it's so hard for you? Like I understand the desire, but because most people want things to be black and white because it's simpler that way. But
Mhm.
when you think about why is it so hard for there to be both, why is it so hard?
Um,
What does that change for you?
I guess like it makes it so I don't know how to be around people. Like I feel like I want to switch, or I'm like, this person's good, so I can relax,
Yeah.
or this person's bad, so I need to have my guard up, you know. This is getting into way more, but
No, it's fine. I mean, no, but no, this is when you're saying this is getting into way more. Now I'm proving to you right now how ancestral trauma has to do with the struggles you have in your day-to-day
yeah,
life now. See,
yeah.
everything ancestral does bleed into this.
Mm,
So I would expect it to be like, we're going in this direction. It's not a different direction.
mm.
Okay, so what I want you to recognize is that you're adding issues around sort of boundaries or issues around not knowing what to do with the information
Mm,
to the concept of both can be true at the same time. So I want you to separate those two out. Two can be true at the same time. And now what do we do about it? The good news about your ancestors is there's no way for you to have them in your life physically.
yeah.
So those boundaries that you're struggling with relative to your parents, like not knowing where to put them in the good camp and therefore, you know, how to keep them in your life, or the bad camp and therefore knowing what boundaries you can set, you don't have to deal with those with your ancestors.
Mm. It's much more like in the ether, and I'm better at that anyway. So
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
All right.